Say what you will about the plasticless boxes, do you know how nice it is to not have to worry about the glare on a toy box? From Transformers Legacy United, this is the Cybertron Universe Starscream, one of my favorite Starscream designs ever. Just looking at the box real quick, you can see there's no plastic here. Ooh. Alongside that, you got the vehicle mode here in the front. You got this cool spread over here. I really need to get Magmatron and Tidal Wave. Those guys look so good. I got everyone else here, basically. I got Windblade, got Megatron, got Chase, Bombi, and Optimus. Good figures so far. Of course, this is all for the 40th anniversary of Transformers. And you can see here our Starscream here on the back. And then just another portrait of him. I actually really like that. That's nice art. But yeah, that's the box. Now let's take a look at Screamer. You want to know the single greatest compliment I can give this Starscream? It doesn't even feel like this guy can transform. This just feels like a really nice non-transforming figure, like what Transformers Red wanted to be. And yet there's a vehicle mode in there somewhere. Now I need you to keep this in mind. I might be a bit biased here. Cybertron is possibly my favorite design Starscream's ever had. Alongside that, he's one of my favorite versions of Starscream. Other than maybe Armada Starscream and IDW 1.0 Starscream, and currently Skybound Starscream. I just always really liked this one because he was just as smart and treacherous as the others, but instead of being cowardly, he was more powerful, making him feel like a more legitimate threat. So yeah, I've always liked this Starscream. The inner edgelord inside me was always like, yeah, early 2000s Starscream was able to do whatever he wanted. And nowadays, I just think he's a goofy, funny moron. But hey, that's toys for you. Getting a closer look at my boy here, and I love this head sculpt. It is perfect. The eyes are kind of sunken in, but I do like that they're painted. But yeah, that's literally just how he looked in the show. He didn't have big eyes. I also kind of like his expression, this kind of half grimace, half smirk. He looks like he's smiling, but he also looks like he's in pain smiling. I really like it. Alongside that, you can see just how crazy they went on the sculpted detail. Very accurate to Cybertron and its aesthetic. The paint, we are missing some deco hits from the original toy and the cartoon model, but all the big things are there, giving you a very nice looking figure, even up close. Do you have any idea how articulated a Transformer has to be to make it look like they're walking? So let's talk about the insane articulation we have here. So we have a ball joint at the head. The head can't go up that much or down, but it does go side to side well. And then you have a universal at the shoulder alongside a butterfly joint. And then we have an upper arm cut. We have a good deep single elbow. I say single, it's a double jointed elbow. And then we have a wrist rotation, a waist rotation, universal at the hips, upper thigh cut, deep knees. And then we have down here ankle rocker up and down at the foot. This guy is better articulated than some non-transforming Transformers. And again, this guy has vehicle modes and weapons and accessories. Let's talk about some of those now, the accessories. For one, we get this purple gun. The gun looks fine. I actually didn't like it at first because I was like, that's not what Starscream's gun looked like in the show. This is what Starscream's gun in the concept art for his toy looked like. That's how deep they went with this. So the gun goes into his hand. It looks fine. Truth be told, I've never thought of this Starscream with a gun. That plus it being translucent plastic, I just would rather not. No, when you think of this Starscream, you think of his swords. So you can see we have the 5mm ports. You can put them in the forearms, make him a more traditional Starscream, or you can be show accurate, put it up here on his shoulders, giving him an even more menacing look. With his big old goofy shoulders on, this just looks how a Cybertron Starscream should. Alongside that, he still has his swords. So they just fold down like so, and boom. No longer activated by a Cyber Planet key, but it does work. I think I'll point out, the swords just barely go past his hand now. But hey, if you really wanted to, let's take these off, put them on the forearm, and boom, now it's really massive. I'm not as big on how that looks. I've seen a lot of people who are really happy that that change was made. And like, if that's your aesthetic, right on. I'm glad that you had the option. But me, I'm going to keep them on the shoulders because I just think he looks better with these massive shoulders. Of course, Starscream, according to the canon of Transformers Cybertron, should only be able to use those swords when he has a Cyber Planet key, which we have. Now, I think this is nowadays called an Energon chip or a tech chip, but it's a Cyber Planet key, and it goes right here. Granted, it doesn't actually do anything now, but that's a really surprising level of detail. The fact that they even gave us a key and made sure it still went into the correct spot of Starscream. I love that. Alongside that, let's say you don't want the Cyber Planet key right there. Well, let's check out this gun again. You see this little nub in here? Boom. Another place for you to store the Cyber Planet key if you don't want it on Starscream proper. That's really, really good. That said, translucent plastic on translucent plastic almost always results in a pretty bad thing. Do that for fun, do that for your photography. I would not personally suggest keeping it in there for all that long. This guy is thin, he might not be long for this world, but while he's here, I think he's going to stay there, at least for a little bit longer. You have this amazing robot mode with all these great accessories and me just absolutely gushing about it. A lot of times when a figure has a really good mode, that means their other mode maybe isn't so hot. So why don't we see if that's the case with Cybertron Starscream. This Starscream's transformation is simple but fun, and it's basically the transformation his original toy had, with a few extra twists just so we can still have that waist articulation. Once we have everything in place though, it's alright! Like, don't get me wrong, this is very much a space jet. If you're not into space jets that very much kind of just look like a robot doing a crab position, I can understand why this wouldn't be to your aesthetic taste. That said, it's accurate. It's accurate to what this Starscream looked like. And I was really impressed with a few things. For instance, the shoulder pauldrons, even though they come off, you don't have to take them off for the transformation. They go exactly where they need to go. And just to show you like how committed they are to detail, they sculpted in a panel that kind of looks like the back of Starscream's head, because on the original toy, Starscream's head was just there. He has a place where they put the head now, but they still put that there to be accurate. That's so dumb, and I love it. You can also see here on the underside, I mean, I think they did a better job at hiding the robot pieces than a lot of Starscreams do. But overall, I'm not going to say, like, I don't get it if someone told me I don't like how this jet looks. All I'm going to say is they were going for a design, they captured the design a lot better than the original one did, and I do still like this jet mode. Like, if I were to think what does a Cybertronian jet looks like, right? I don't think of the Tetra jet from G1, I don't think of the Tetra jet from Siege. I sometimes think of the jet from War for Cybertron, which, to be fair, when it's hovering, looks like this jet. So this is right up my preferred design aesthetic for Cybertronian jet modes, but I understand if I am alone in that. Also, if you're curious, here's the Cyber Planet key. Cyber Planet key can still go right where it did in robot mode, just like it did on the original Cybertron toy, and if you want, you can then go wha-boom, wha-bang, and now, what do you know, you got jets coming straight at you with a jet, but now, I don't think that's clearing the nose cone, pal. It wasn't clear already, I really, really enjoy this Starscream. Like, if you were to tell me, like, what is the best Voyager to come out in the past, I don't know how many years, this Starscream's definitely in contention, and this is at a time in which Starscream has a lot of good Voyagers that have been made available to us. Just for fun here, I'm putting him next to the Armada Starscream from Legacy and the Earthrise Starscream. Earthrise Starscream is definitely my least favorite one here. I know it's important for people just if they want the G1 accuracy, but Armada Starscream, Cybertron Starscream, War for Cybertron Starscream, those are my three favorite Starscreams. I'm kind of sad that the Studio Series War for Cybertron Starscream, I didn't pull him down because that figure's not good and I think it would make the entire set look bad, but seeing these two come out so well, especially the Cybertron Starscream. Like, as much as I love that Armada one, the articulation's a little bit gimpy in some places, and the design, as much as I like it, objectively I don't think it's all that good. The Cybertron Starscream though, this is perfect. This is class, man. I love it a lot. If you're able to pick this guy up, I fully recommend him. Even if you're not a big fan of Cybertron, but you just want a good Starscream, this is a very, very, very good Starscream. I know that supposedly that there's leak listings saying that Skywarp might be on the way. Good, we need Skywarp on this mold, those colors. Even though this wouldn't be accurate, I would love to see Thundercracker. on this mold. I know Thundercracker had his own toy in Cybertron, but that toy was a piece of crap. So, I would love to have my favorite Seeker in this mold in some way. But even if we just get Starscream and Skywarp, or even if we just keep this Starscream, they've done an amazing job here, man. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful figure, and I absolutely adore it. Now my only question is, which of these two is my favorite Starscream of the year so far? This is a good era for Starscream, and a rough era for my wallet.